now that you've learned a bit about the art and copy process, I'm going to talk about my role, which is to merge those two things together. That's the key function of the designer. So we lay out an ad or an article in a certain way to guide the reader through the information without them even thinking about it. First and foremost, we need to grab the reader's attention and have them quickly comprehend the purpose of the ad. That means the copy, mainly the headline, the art, and the fonts should all work together to create a cohesive ad. I have a few examples here. The first shows how I designed the ad based on the headline, which was "These deals are the talk of the town," by using speech bubbles for the heading and then to list the individual sales as well. It's an obvious design choice, but it's a fun and quickly comprehensible layout. In the next ad, I want to point out the fonts I chose to draw more attention to the headline and how well they match the style of the artwork. By mixing a serif font with the script font for the words "pretty things," I think I've created a more whimsical feel that matches the style of the artwork. The next ad, which is for a financial advisor, I want to point out how I've seamlessly merged the photo with the copy and the inserted advisor information. Choosing the right photo for an ad, this one being a message of affirmation, as Lorraine told us, needed subjects with a softness and emotion that you can feel. And that softness mixed with the serif font, which has a professional tone that conveys knowledge, worked well for this type of advertiser. In the last ad shown here, we're using an unusual, fun, bright photo, which will automatically demand your attention. So the headline should also demand attention. I chose two fonts, one to highlight the bye-bye, and I left the word boring in a clean but lightweight basic font. The effect should have the reader's eye bouncing from the image to the headline and then down to that offer, which is clear and bolded. These are the three most important pieces of information that will get the reader to stay on the ad and learn more. Next slide. When I'm designing ads, I always think of these 10 elements of a good ad. You want an appropriate image and font, a strong headline, clear message, proper balance of copy and image, good eye flow to guide you through the information without having the reader even notice, and adequate white space is crucial on a busy page. There should be a benefit to the consumer and complete contact information. You should try to keep it simple and straightforward and to think about getting attention, giving information, creating a desire, and getting the consumer to act. These are all elements that I went over in detail with examples in our Designing Kick-Ass Ads webinar last year. So I'm not going to go into these now. All of our past webinars are available for viewing on our website, so you can check that out if you missed it. Next slide. I thought it would be helpful to go through the steps I take in designing the ad templates you see on MCC. We're constantly getting fresh photos and artwork in for upcoming topics, themes, and events. And Laureen writes the copy for the ads we'll be creating each week based on those themes. I receive a text doc like the one you see on the left for each ad I need to create. The first thing I will do is set a hierarchy of information. So we have a headline, large and on top, important information underlined. The orange copy is something I'd like to draw attention to. The business name, social media, and contact info in blue, and then any additional information in black. So for this particular ad, Laureen came up with a theme idea for a cafe, a morning after St. Patrick's Day brunch to generate business, which is a great idea. We chose this dog with the shamrock headband as it seemed to fit the after party theme. Also, it's great because it's a photo EPS file, so that means the object is silhouetted with no white background. These are great for making more dynamic, layered ads very easily. Next, for the headline, I wanted to really make it pop, so I created a vector heading using a bold font with the Ireland flag colors and adding some confetti. I easily found the confetti in an MCC search because I've really been into confetti lately. So you'll see this confetti style in many colors already up on our site. After I create the heading, this becomes an additional downloadable piece of art. Any new art our designers make for the ad templates become available as separate downloads. I also knew for this ad, I wanted to call out that green beer special. So I searched our site for green beer and found the one I thought would fit well. When designing our ads, we try to leave plenty of space for advertiser logo and contact info at the bottom of our templates, because that information can really vary in size and shape. And then you see here, this is the final ad that I came up with. So next slide. I wanted to show another example of how I put an ad together by creating a background from an existing piece of art and creating new headings for you to use. The idea behind these realtor ads in our campaigns and classified service was to highlight a realtor by engaging the reader in an activity. As you see on the left, the ad includes a recipe. The ad on the right includes a coloring panel, and as stated before, recipes and coloring panels are all included in your Metro subscriptions. I wanted a nice background and a heading to really grab the attention of the reader. I scrolled through some vector art on MCC for something that would work well for this ad, and I found this fun fall art and really liked the colors, angles, and dots in the background. So I went in and deleted the elements on top and thinned out the triangles to create white space in the middle, making a nice background for this ad. I saved some of the leaves in the artwork and made a separate happy fall heading. We also created a version for spring by changing the colors in the background and creating a happy spring headline by pulling flowers from another piece of art. And of course, these are all now individual downloadable pieces for your use. By designing these ad templates, we're really working with our own art and photos, and we're able to create more variations of our content for you to use. Because even when you have a million pieces of art to scroll through, as a designer, you're always looking for something just a little bit different. Next slide. So to inspire your ad designs, I wanted to show a few design styles to freshen up your ads that I currently like using. So first is shapes and vector elements. On this assisted living business ad template, I decided to create different shapes for the photos instead of simply rectangles or circles, which works well with the unusual background shape I chose to use. I grabbed a few vector leaves and branches to add to the top of the ad to create more attention. I really love using the elements from our flat vector styles, which Rob said are very popular right now. These are really easy to grab different elements from, as they're relatively simplistic Illustrator files. There's not going to be a lot of layers. You can go in and just grab the piece you want. Next here, I have the cover of a current theme special section titled Curb Appeal. I really like to mix photos with the vector art. Again, you see it's that flat design and these plants that I used on top of the home photograph. It's easy to layer with vector art and create a more dynamic ad design. And again, the same idea of adding vectors with a photo I'm showing in this boutique ad. Just a simple element used in a couple of spots will add more interest and personality to your ad design. I also created the heading there, which matches the vector style of the element I chose. So next slide. Another very simple design technique is a fading blurred background. I like to grab some of our background art, which we have many styles and themes of, and fade it to white to add some texture to my ad designs. You see here the original background in the middle that I flipped and faded, and now this version is a separate piece available for download. This technique can really add some nice dimension to web ads as well. You can see the web ad version for this contest on top, right there. Thank you, Bethany. The next example shows the use of angled photo boxes and text boxes. The angling adds a feeling of motion and action, which works really well in this now hiring ad layout. And lastly, a simple way to add a little something different to your ads is with the use of a color overlay on the photos. I chose these images for this Women's History Month sponsor ad. I was staring at it for a while and thought it could just use something a little bit more to make it pop. And I learned from the infographic text that Laureen wrote last month that the colors for Women's History Month are white, green, and purple. So I decided to color tint these photos in green and purple. And by doing so, I was able to easily lay the text over the now more darkened images, which I think helped the ad a lot. So next slide. Now, when you're initially designing your print spec ad, it's good to think about how it would translate into a web ad. If that's a possible upsell option for your paper, you might want to include a web version of the print spec ad. And web ad sizes have very differing ratios in height and width. A leaderboard ad is very thin and horizontal. A skyscraper ad is narrow and vertical. And then you have the almost square rectangle size. These are the three most popular web ad sizes used today. So you're going to want to think about the artwork you choose and decide if that's something that could fit into these various sizes as well. We have a wide selection of print ads that already have web and mobile companion ads on MCC. The web ads are in a PSD format, so you can directly edit or delete the text on them. In these two examples I'm showing, I think the image chosen worked really well in each of the various web and mobile ad sizes. The stethoscope is a very iconic medical image, so the reader will quickly be able to comprehend what the ad is for. And it works well in every ad shape because the image can be cropped and you still know what it is. In the second example, it's another good example of the image being able to be cropped vertically and horizontally and still make sense with the headline, "Scoop Up Big Deals for the Kitchen." It also uses bright colors for attention, and the text works well in the circles, which are playing off of the circular scoops. Next slide. Within the past couple of years, we've been creating social media posts to help enhance your newspaper's reader engagement. We have a wide variety in both Instagram, Facebook, Twitter sizes, and you can use these to wish your readers a happy holiday, to alert them to special national holidays like Check Your Batteries Day, which happens every second Sunday of March, in case you didn't know that. You can remind them to make a difference in the community on Earth Day. You can also use the posts and then tag local businesses who advertise with your paper on special days like Coffee Day or during Pizza Month, if a business is going to have like a special offer during these special day and month related, food related holidays. This can be an added perk for your advertisers and more exposure for them. We do also supply the blank background for these posts as well, which can be used to add your own text, or you can use the images as backgrounds for print or web ads. This library is constantly growing and has been very popular. Next slide. So no matter how or what parts of our services you use, we hope you find design inspiration, artwork, and ad copy ideas to make more dynamic ads to increase your revenue. We always take customer requests, and we value your suggestions for additional content and themes. We are constantly keeping up with trends, lifestyle changes, and important national and worldwide topics. Our customer base is very wide, and we are inclusive to everyone's needs. You're able to use, manipulate, and edit all of our content without worrying about permissions, legal complications, or licensing restrictions. So I hope you found that helpful and informative. I'm going to give it back to Daryl now.